back, and welcome to another episode of the RestSpot. On the side of me, I got my sidekick.
And I'll never be nobody's side, bro. What you mean?
What
Anyways.
side?
Listen, boys, Shaun, boys. To the right hand side of me, I don't know why he say he back, but y'all should know this fella, man. Mr. Music on again.
Ball head, my man.
Ball
All
head, my
these
man.
crap.
Mr. Rhon. On the other side of me, I got my boy Alshorn, a.k.a. Slutstastic, a.k.a. Bombastic, a.k.a. Elephantastic. And y'all know the host of the show, man. The person who bring this whole show together and thought about this idea, Mr. Rennii Bobs. Also known as...
Oh, gosh.
Baby Rennii. All right, man, Renzo. What we got going on today, man, Renzo?
What we got going on today is, I letting y'all know from jump. This lap right here is the Alumni Junkanoo lap. We had first lap, we had Shirley Street, we had third lap, we on Alumni Junkanoo now. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. So it's quite interesting. And you, Mr. Craven, I'm coming for you. But before we even jump off with that, I just want to make mention of our new merch that is out. We'll be letting y'all know the prices at some time. Follow our pages, TikTok,
Yes,
Instagram. We coming to Facebook sooner or later.
There's some water inside this, by the
It's a
way.
jiggy thing, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you know.
water. All water.
We all water.
All water.
We got our nice cups. We got our nice shirts. You know, everybody all merch up. But anyway, we with this Alumni Junkanoo stuff. It's finally over.
Thank God.
What you mean,
Why
thank
you
God,
said it
man?
though? You like you do any work?
First of
Why
all,
don't rush to just school?
we
Why
use
you
the
watch this
same
one?
one.
Yeah.
Use the same
Why you watch
one.
this good?
We can get to that.
Yeah.
Use the same one who say,
Mr. Fogwater.
I coming in the fourth quarter like I is Kobe, if allowed. You ain't even tried.
How you know that?
Did you try to go to the school practice or reach out to anybody?
No.
Tell
No.
your story.
I wasn't reached out to. Nor did I do any
You
reaching.
wasn't reached
Oh!
out to?
Nor did I do any reaching out.
Mr.
Cool.
Dread, Mr. Dread.
No,
Cool. I wasn't reaching out too.
So use number one draft pick.
I doubt it. I mean, yeah.
Tell your story.
Tell them what school you was go to. What school you came from.
Just
Listen,
once
actually,
again.
Let's remind them.
I'm a proud graduate of the Jordan Prince William High School.
Ain't nobody's put D in the front of private schools, bro.
What you mean?
You put V in the front of a
Private
vowel.
school. Yeah.
V in front of a vowel. But
But
anyway,
like, anyways,
I have a question.
All kind of
Jordan.
thought thesaurus of you now.
Yeah.
you want to say that twice? Careful.
My night.
The English police is here.
Hey, English police here. Mr. Clarification is here. And he
Clarification,
can
my
make
man.
sure everybody's straight.
Mr. Clarification, my man.
Did you say that?
Oh, this
So
baby clown? Because it was a burning question on the internet that gone viral. You know? And I wanted to put it in the brass chat. That,
I
Okay.
didn't say that, bro. You what?
okay, it was like 100 men versus...
See, that's not.
Hey,
This
alumni.
is your first time barking. This episode, what, 4 or 5? Are you
Alumni.
coming clown and
Anyway, sorry.
Alumni, we coming back.
Yeah, I clowned
As
them
I
all.
Go on,
want-
finish
I
it,
want
finish it,
no,
why?
Loki, I want y'all take on this. 'Cause
Bro,
I have
I didn't
my
tell my answer.
opinion.
But I don't think you're going to say though.
Go ahead.
Can 100 not be?
Hey, everything good.
Let's go. Anyway, sorry. 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 Let's go. Let's get to business. Let's get to
So
business.
glad of it. You just come back, man.
Let's get down to
All right,
business.
let's get about the business. Sorry.
All right,
Alright,
back to the JPW. So,
So JBW's there's a topic now?
we starting there.
that's what you, bro.
Cause you say
So,
you wasn't
you said
reached
you
out
wasn't
to.
reach out to. Your school came out first.
And they was first out the gate.
First out the gate.
Yeah. Which is
So-
rough, by the way.
Take
You
the
get it
shot,
up.
man. Like, what was your, why you didn't go? Why you didn't make the initiative? Say, but it's my first time at school. Because I don't think y'all been in Junior Junkanoo.
Yeah, man. What you mean?
I never remember y'all in Junior Junkanoo.
Yeah, but-
Like the 1970s.
No, just year before last.
Yeah, just started before
Junior
last.
Yeah, just year
They
before
was?
last.
Yeah, I did.
Junior
You
Junkanoo?
know how I remember
I
that?
did costume
Let me tell you how I
for
remember
Prince Will. Yeah, before
You
last.
know how I
I don't
remember
remember
that? I don't know if I should
Whoa.
say this, but Teddy, daughter, rushed with Junior Junkanoo. And everybody in Junkanoo know Teddy Stein is late for everything.
Oh,
So
God.
her daughter come down Rawson Square crying. Teddy coming through East Street, just reaching. And I was like, oh God.
Oh,
So that's why I know Princeville.
Yeah, they rush.
Sorry,
Teddy.
Teddy. My bad.
All right, so why you didn't reach out to one of the persons who's in charge of, organizing your school for the Alumni Junkanoo?
I mean, I have my day-to-day operations, and then as well as I was in reach out to, like, I mean, I didn't know who to reach out. Well,
All star of sport.
I know who to reach out to, but I mean, for me, the togetherness and the organization wasn't too
So
up
none
to
of those-
par that would say, hey, okay,
You wasn't in that financial loop. You didn't know.
no financial
you.
loop and none like that. I mean,
Perhaps.
that's a good one.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of financial loops going on apparently because I saw it anyway.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
get into
it just wasn't an organized thing. But I mean, shout out to John and Prince Williams and your placement. Next year or whenever it comes again, if you guys are gonna be a part of it, whatnot. I'm not
You?
committing to it. No. What I'm saying is,
that. You got
you can do it better. It's gonna be better. It was a good overall product. Just
So
couple things.
what I want to ask is, the first thing I need one of y'all to do, whose phone is handy, how did the standings go from first to last? Last being RM Bailey.
Well, they put the official.
I got it.
Aren't Billy come last?
Last.
I thought
No,
they switched
I
it.
got it.
They
No,
have
I think
they have
switched again
updated
last.
results now.
I have it. I have the
Official?
I have the
Yeah, you
official
saying official.
results.
Not the
They have-
results.
they have
Okay.
the official-
Not the results.
Results.
The results.
Yeah, they make
Okay.
a little boo boo.
It says Junkanoo Fusion production. Junkanoo Alumni Rush official results. You want me to go from bottom up or
Yeah, let's do from bottom up.
bottom?
Let's do from bottom up.
Hey, let's make something clear now. In the unofficial results, Government I came
Results.
6.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. In eighth.
In last position.
Go
on, man.
In eighth place with 1,261 points. RM Billy.
No.
Eighth.
No.
Craven. Call Craven.
Ah,
Well, you gotta
in
call it
8th place
starch.
with 1,000 something points.
Starch.
With 2 trumpet,
Craven and the boys.
1
Come on, they-
baritone,
they-
1 trombone, and 2 bass drum.
They had a line of
Not drummers,
trumpets.
bass drum. Craven.
They had a line of trumpets and they're like
Starch. You
two
gotta say,
baritone.
Craven
Anybody
should
talk to
corner.
Craven today?
Yes, but I've been by him.
He answering people?
I've been by him.
No.
We've been meeting on and stuff for almost 20 minutes before he come out.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I watched the stars day after the results come out. The unofficial one come out. He's like, man, they give us the inside. I think they didn't bring out the individual
They didn't
categories
bring
as
music,
yet, but
yeah.
they just bring out the overall. So he said, man, they give me last aside. They give me last in overall. They can't give me last aside music, bro. When I saw the music results,
But they come in music.
7 or 8, one of them. But I burst so laughing. Pardon, I agree. But I burst so laughing because I say,
Hold
but
on, I have the music results. Nah.
no, finish to the results first.
They
Oh,
beat
no.
someone in music.
Do the official results.
They
They
beat
beat someone in
Go
music.
back to the official.
What they get
Go
music?
overall
Okay.
again.
Okay.
Yeah, we
So-
need to finish that.
In 8th position, Craven.
Yeah. 7th place with 1,374 points. The Magics.
Oh my gosh.
Renzo and the boys.
Oh my gosh.
Now, if I were to talk about the Magics, right? I wasn't out there last night, but I saw videos and stuff, and I saw that the GHS was really complete. From
On the second lap.
no, we watched the first lap together.
They was complete on the
They was
second
complete
lap.
on the second
On the
lap.
first lap,
Okay.
they did not
The first lap, they didn't even have a banner.
They didn't have a
So
bottom.
that's fine. But
Okay.
we come,
But-
trust me,
but
I can talk with GH.
I felt as though they were actually really good.
Mhm.
And I saw Mr. Justinian post today, and I agree
We
with
come-
his post.
We come back to that.
I agree with his post.
I do too.
Because okay, let's be fair and real. If the rule stipulates something, you have to abide by the rule. And if you don't abide by the rule, you should be
Qualified.
disqualified, penalized,
Probably penalized.
anything.
I think it was a DQ.
So-
because that's hold on. That's why rules exist. And
Those ones
if
just
we don't,
environmental, you don't jump anybody. Partner.
if we don't deal with this in these smaller events, it can happen in the big events. Rules are there to guide us. I feel as though, and on the flip side, I feel as though that, right, if you see people ain't abiding by the rules and you getting swindled or whatever, bro, stop participating.
You know,
That's my opinion.
You stop
That's
participating.
my
or
opinion.
You gotta.
That's all.
You gotta
Or
get
do
your
what,
hand dirty. Do what they doing.
do what everybody
You
else
gotta
doing.
level the playing field.
No.
That's my opinion.
All right, so where I come from with this is, my question to that is, how do you decipher who came from what school?
People know. But
People know.
People
people know what
People
school.
know.
People know
People
what
know.
school these peoples come from, bro.
People
That's
know
cool.
what school you come from.
So yesterday I saw in D.W. Davis line, a fellow who come from SOC.
I think
So at that point it was assistance because SOC ain't participate and they wasn't necessarily Junkanoo school. So what do you do with somebody like that?
inside the rules, they had some. They had. I ain't gonna lie. The rules kind. That
have the
rule. I
rules.
know that's rule number 2. Where they
I
said
have the rules.
if
I
you
can read it.
have, I
I
don't
have
read it
the,
wrong.
I have the
Because
rules.
read
I can read it. Okay. Alumni Junkanoo Parade Rules and Regulation. Participant must be alumni or currently enrolled in the participating school to be. Oh, they have this part of the group.
it. Mhm.
I can read good, but this they doesn't.
You struggling with this. That's what I said. You better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
let her
can
read.
You can read.
Jesus,
No,
yeah.
Alright,
Don't
let
mess
me-
up.
let me-
Word guru.
Yeah.
All right,
okay,
so,
thesaurus.
Rule number 1 says all government
No,
and private.
go to 2. We on 2.
All right, let me just read the rule number 1 first. So you're saying part 9. It says all government and private schools are eligible to participate in the parade. All right, so anybody could, Rule number 2: participants must be alumni. Chill out, bro.
You get yourself.
Must be an alumni or currently enrolled in the participating school to be part of the group. Students, and they have this highlighted. Students whose school is not participating in the parade may participate with a participating school as long as they are of the same age group of the school. So that means not adults. now.
Non-adults
Students who
Right.
are in school.
could
So
participate.
that
with
person
another
from
school.
SOC in school, then they can participate. They could participate with JBW or something like that.
Oh, that's my graduate before I see all us. If he
So
ain't
why
graduate before
why
us,
why
he
why they
probably
just
come
have
out with Rhon.
why they just have students?
Excuse me.
Because
Mean
they
we're on the
know
same
they
age.
know how
Partner.
you know how when you
It's
can't.
alumni Junkanoo.
Yeah, it is. And that's why I was kind of confused too when I saw a lot of school students who were still inside, school students who they're participating with the alumni jungle group. I was kind of confused
That's
with
how
that.
that's how GH should
But I think
look.
that's something
Yeah.
they just included this year.
Let me get on your.
I have a question. Before you go on.
Okay, you should.
What do y'all feel as though is the purpose of the alumni Junkanoo group?
Now, with you saying that, I spoke to Miss Colbrook today. Aldiga.
Clown. See,
Everybody
yeah,
get
yeah.
love it.
Stop clowning.
Everybody
Y'all
get love
like
it.
clown, bro.
I spoke to her
Yeah,
today, and what she had mentioned was what differs with the alumni Junkanoo from big Junkanoo and even junior Junkanoo is everybody wins, because even though Craven come 8, you still have that every school gonna get something.
Yeah.
Whereas only winners would get something in the big parades or whatever, and even junior Junkanoo. But down to Craven, from Craven to CV, everybody gets something. The purpose of it itself is for to help like the schools when it comes to junior Junkanoo or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, it's more so to say, we doing this to keep the culture alive as well as involve school kids with their transition into big Junkanoo with the alumni or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's beneficial for each school that is going to participate further in their junior Junkanoo. And it takes some load off, I guess, the ministries with their seed fundings and stuff like that.
I
So
have a question.
get that, and but when you bow down to something as low as the rules and who's supposed to be doing what, that's why I don't. Even though like, it can be unfair straight across the board with everything. Everything in life it can be unfair straight across the board. And too much things in life too fair, but it's the actual purpose that I appreciate. And I had a conversation with somebody last night, and they were saying that the Alumni Junkanoo itself don't make no sense. And I just cut the conversation. I leave it be with them, and I let them just rant and rave, because you ain't getting what the purpose of this whole thing is to begin with. You see, everything cool. You win. That's your opinion. Everybody is entitled to an opinion, even though it ain't right. That's cool. I get the purpose of what the Alumni Junkanoo is for. So I cool with that, you know. Like by rush with 16 groups. At the end of the day, by them schools can
That's
get
extreme, though.
them
I
schools
have a
can
question.
get they can get the assistance that they need, and that's the best thing to come out of it.
I have a question for
Okay,
you.
that's that.
It takes away from competition, though.
I have-
Yeah, so the next tier is competition. That's what I was going to
All
say.
right, now
takes away
on
from
the,
competition.
on the competitive
Because
side,
now you're trying to draw a crowd, and when people see the same type of people coming over, but they ain't coming out to that no more, bro. Because it ain't make no sense.
yeah, I agree. I agree from that standpoint.
The competitive side of
The
it,
competitive
it
side
throws
of
out the
it,
window.
because I was recording last night, and
Based on what you say, Renzo,
I see
I have a
the
question.
same person like 3 times.
We can get that. But I like what you said, right? Where you saying that the alumni has a purpose to assist with Junior Junkanoo, correct?
Because Junior
Okay.
Junkanoo was on a
Okay.
serious decline, if we being real.
Nah, Junior Junkanoo being up for the past 3-4 years.
Yeah, the past 3-4, yes. But at a certain point, it
Yeah,
was
that's
going on a
before
decline.
3-4 years.
It was
Junior Junkanoo right now really good and competitive.
Obviously, what they would have realized is that Junior Junkanoo was going at a decline, and a lot of these schools was complaining about their financial state, and plenty of them coming out of pocket or whatever the case may be as teachers and stuff like that. And you know, Shaun them don't make too much of money, so he's got to do 6 shows a week
Oh.
just so he could put gas in the car and buy Wendy's and not Wendy's, Burger King, nasty Burger
But
King.
he put you on. Anyway,
That's
That's
hilarious, though. Very cool. Though.
I have a question.
That's
for you.
hilarious. Very cool, though.
Because I know.
For the love of the children.
I-
For the
I-
love of the children.
Renzo, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know you said is to assist Junior Junkanoo. We in the month of May. How does alumni in May assist Junior Junkanoo? Let me.
Go on.
I feel as though we as Junkanooers need to organize the scheduling of Junkanoo events better. Because if you look at it right now, I see what school I was. Was it RM? With Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
Billy, yeah.
But that was in the Valley like 2 years ago. So we ain't really directly assisting the progress of Junior Junkanoo. Now, if we have this alumni rush sometime right before, couple months or right before Junior Junkanoo, then we could sit down while we are in the zone to teach the younger people Junkanoo. Here's why I said it. Do you feel as though Junkanoo itself need a rest period?
Yeah,
I just need a rest.
but
Junkanoo, you say Junkanoo.
let me tell you
so-
why.
I don't know, yeah.
Let me
He's
tell you
saying
why.
the people
alright, so
involved,
let me
though.
tell you why I get what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree, because this ideal this almost the most ideal time for Alumni Junkanoo itself to happen. If you go back to the rules to talk about the participation of current students in school, right? So school start from September to December, right? They preparing for Junkanoo to happen in January. Now, two of the initial causes of Alumni Junkanoo, and I ain't a part of no committee to actually be so firm on these things that I saying, but it's based off the things that I've spoken to people about and what I mostly believe. But Two of the purposes is number one for the financial side of it to help later down the line because they don't get their monies until later down in the
Okay.
year,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? And outside of that, you get from September, October, November, and December to prepare for the parade which will happen in January, right? This is the only time I don't. Let's be real now. You being who you are in Junkanoo, you think you have time to help any school when you get in the war?
Mm-mm.
All right, so war over.
I don't.
This your break time. This is the time when you would be able to say, all right, our actual break time in Junkanoo is January to May.
Yes.
So if that's your
March.
break time, it ain't a must that you go and help your school because obviously none of us rush. We ain't help our schools, and that's poor.
No.
That's
It is
poor.
important.
Very poor.
But
It is
but
important.
no,
It is important.
no. Get what I said.
Okay.
Get what I said. I know we just need a break. We
Here's
just need
my
a break.
argument.
This get where I coming from.
Here's my
How you got
argument.
my name though?
Get where I coming
Here's
from.
my
'Cause you
argument.
went help your school and you say you was coming in the fourth quarter.
I say what coming in the fourth quarter?
What?
I can
What?
tell you why I haven't done alumni in the 2 years that it existed.
Tell the truth.
My issue is that, bro, I do Junkanoo nine of the 12 months in the year. 9 out of the 12 months in the year. The only time I have to catch myself is January, February, and March.
Yep.
That's the only time. Any other time, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, I do Junkanoo. Everybody needs a time. That's the only way you could progress and get better. If you don't sit back and review what happened last year,
I agree.
then start to educate yourself for the upcoming year and plan, you will never get better. You have to rest, even if you're a weightlifter.
All right. So
This is
now,
my point.
no, but anyways, continue.
This is my point. If you're a weightlifter, they say exercise and rest. You have to rest before you go back in then, or else the same thing would happen in alumni. That's a different topic.
All right. So now answer your question that you asked originally. You asked that. Do you think that Junkanoo should have
A rest period.
rest period?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Because I was gonna ask it. Because I was gonna say you
think
bring
so.
up this. You bring up this question as if you want it to happen. It seemed like you wanted it to happen. Oh yeah. Because I was gonna say now you contradicting what your question
Nah.
is.
No.
I
actually-
understand now.
See now.
Here's my thing. Okay.
understand.
Here's my thing. Personally, no offense to the family islands, Junkanoo, but I feel as though the Junkanoo in Nassau should be the last Junkanoo to close off the Junkanoo season. So any island Junkanoo, this is my opinion, should happen before the big dogs go on the road.
Does it not?
No.
No, babe.
You
don't.
just was in Freeport
just was
in
in
January,
Freeport,
boy. And then after Freeport is Exoma, then Cat Island.
All right, so
This
let's
is my opinion.
So let's
So they trying
so
to.
This
let's
is
be-
my
You gotta
opinion.
put their
Alright,
Junkanoo
now
like
watch this.
September,
Alright,
October,
my
November.
opinion.
All right, now watch this. Let's
Where
be-
would you put that Junkanoo?
Now let's be realistic.
Which months?
I
How
would say
about if you look at it from this standpoint?
You could still be in December.
How?
Freeport Junkanoo
Somebody
is
in
happening.
December.
Freeport Junkanoo is happening January 10th now, right? January is the beginning month. Hey, make that your last golf.
Hey,
Yeah,
you close to me now.
man.
so. We clowning
That's
because
your
I
last
could
go.
clown all night.
Nah.
We clowning?
Listen.
Let me know.
Listen,
That's on
Freeport Junkanoo is happening January 10th,
Yeah.
right? Would Freeport Junkanoo itself be the closing of all Junkanoos?
Because you're going
Or
after that.
is it the opening of the year? Because now you can look at it as Freeport Junkanoo is the first Junkanoo to happen for the year. If you think about it, even though it says New Year's Day,
You
you're
can
in
say
a new
opening.
year. So now Freeport is the first one, and then you have Junior Junkanoo would happen right after that, right? So watch this. They'll transcend being the first thing for the year. So now it's almost like Junkanoo is a
Year-round thing.
year-round
You
thing.
kind of smart.
Yeah. You make
So
sense.
that's
Now,
kind of.
I get what you're saying,
That's
saying
kinda-
close off or whatever. You're looking at it as a continuation.
Okay.
Yeah, but realistically, if you're looking at the calendar,
Okay.
Junkanoo can start January 10th
Yeah.
for the year
Okay.
with Freeport.
Okay.
You see where I
That
come
makes
from?
sense.
Mario Boleg.
I can't make sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't like Junior Junkanoo inside January.
Nah, me neither.
I think Junior Junkanoo should go back the week before.
But they
December
didn't. I think they
15th.
switched it because it was like,
I get why it happening like that.
it's
I get why it
and
happening like
school
that,
and
because guess
exams
what?
coming up and blah
Just
blah
like,
blah.
and just like I saying right now, that's like the purpose of Alumni Junkanoo itself.
Nah, you can't say that because
Let me tell you why.
the people who in what seniors doing right now in Junkanoo? I mean, in school. What seniors doing right now? They preparing for BGCSE, bro.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You see what I saying? Like they just sent me out.
So
what you
So realistically, there is no good time.
there
You
is
want to have Alumni Junkanoo in the summer? You can't have
no,
Alumni
no,
Junkanoo
no,
in the
no.
summer.
There
All
is
right.
no good time.
Look at that.
Okay.
There is no good time.
Okay.
Because look at the calendar events, right? Let's just say you take this rest period of Junkanoo being.
Oh, you could put that. Sorry, not to cut you off. You could put Alumni Junkanoo in June, like when school closed.
That would be better. I'd say summer.
Exactly, because
Summer fest.
So
Where
now
summer
you have your
fest
June. You have your alumni.
But in June?
Hold on, watch this. You have when school closed. You have your alumni
right after
Junkanoo
Labor Day.
in June.
Right after Labor Day.
Right,
Yeah.
right after Labor Day. Then
Summer
you have
fest.
your independence and all that
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah.
You could put it
Right where
now.
Summer Fest was.
Why?
And you know what we could do? Just like how we used to do Summer Fest with every group. Every school.
That'll be there.
Every school you have a week.
Well, how they kind of that.
Every
Cool.
school you have
Yes.
a week.
Cool.
The big Junkanoo do Labor Day and Independence. And in between that, every school have their slot.
All right, cool. Now, look at it. Why I say, with them putting it the time that they put it, it makes sense. Look at it this way. If Alumni Junkanoo itself is to assist the schools, right? And you have participants from the school coming and joining in with this, right? Let's just say you as assistant in your school and you do it in June. And the only allotted time for them to have a practice is a Monday and a Wednesday. And you have to choose between your group practice and alumni practice. Which one you going to do?
Shadow 40.
Thank you. So that's why I say this is the most ideal time, because this is the only empty time for Junkanoo.
Bro, people
In
having
between the
practices
year.
now, Renzo. What's what you talking about?
Yeah, I agree.
People
But
been having practices.
I agree,
You just
but-
gotta.
what the height?
Figure it
Sorry,
out.
the height
less, though.
the height of practices actually come into play when you get into that April, May. So if you practicing from January to January, March, April, right? With Alumni Junkanoo, you don't have nothing else to get in the way of that.
But
Now,
I mean,
I know that throughout the time span it becomes strenuous simply because now that means you're doing Junkanoo January, February, March, April, May. And then you into your big group May and June, which will be Labor Day. And then June into July you practicing for Independence. July into August you practicing for Fox Hill. And then August, September you practicing for Youth March. And then after that you practicing for the Christmas tree lighting and all of them things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you get right into Big Junkanoo again. I get that continuation
but
itself is
Renzo,
heavy.
Renzo, what you talking is garbage because we just watched a video and really and truly,
Out of all them,
out of all them alumni groups, how much them play something new?
Not a
They
one.
can still playing Three Little Bird, I'll Fly Away, Osam, you know what I mean? So
Fair enough.
it ain't no excuse, you know what I mean?
All right,
Yeah.
so
That's my opinion.
so let's transcend into a conversation that we had prior to the podcast. The purpose of it, the purpose of it is naturally for creativity itself too. Like everybody's still playing the songs that you can hear on show, and that's a showing of the fact that everybody's still just tagging along for whatever purpose, whether it be a financial purpose or whatever, whereas the group's paying these people to come and do what they gotta do, or anything outside of that. So that means what Mr. J saying is actually right.
Yeah.
Like the school pride part of it has diminished, and that's only the second year. There's no school pride when it comes to it, because now if you handing out funds or whatever the case may be, you're getting where the money at, rather than saying, "But I have school pride for my school." And for me personally, that's part of the reason why, although many schools would have offered, I never went. But because I got fired from GH, I ain't going there either.
Yeah. That
No.
shows school pride.
But-
Oh, but
Well,
same
I
thing
mean-
with, hold
But
on.
I said that
Yeah.
I personally, even though that offers were on the table, I wouldn't go with another school simply because of my school pride. I ain't going
Yeah.
against Governor even if we come craven.
But and that's it. That's his school pride. Because even last year,
Stupid.
everybody know Rox is like my brother, you know, and he's like, Rhon, come rush with me. I tell him, bro, I'll help you along the way, but I have
Can't do
school
it.
pride.
Can't do it.
And that's what it is. I
Can't do
can't, unfortunately, I can't assist my school because of prior
True.
engagement, all these other stuff.
But I mean, the very first summer Alumni Junkanoo, money probably was around.
It
Now
was.
a lot of people rushed. It seemed
But
a
you-
lot of people
What?
rushed with
You
their
say money
school.
wasn't around?
It was.
The money
it
was around.
Money was
of course.
around, boy.
So
But you have people
a lot of
rushing
people
with
rushed.
their-
A lot of people rushed with their schools
Because that
last
was
year
the first one.
comparison to
So
this
everybody
year.
was hyped.
So
So this year people find a loophole.
what was the riff?
So right
What
now,
it can't be.
It was
can't-
hype last year. That's the first. That's
So-
the first time it happened.
so right now,
it
the
can't be
initial-
because a bunch of people needed money.
Because
apparently
now
at the same
other
time.
schools start to come out.
so
Other schools start to come out.
Right
now.
now-
the same schools is basically in it from last year.
No, bro, you are like what? Three
What
new
no, bro?
groups? DW, y'all, and R. Bailey.
I think what alumni showed us this year is the same thing what's happening in Junkanoo right now.
Once you get you going, you can have anything.
The same thing what's happening in Junkanoo now is that people don't care about loyalty. People right now care about that quick little dollars, you know? I would not go further in that, but that's what it is. And if you choose to live that life, that's fine. But that's what it is. And it's I don't go.
like
It's
I
sad to see that happen. You know what I mean?
Like I say, I necessarily like it, but at the end of the day, what you have to realize is this life. Everybody don't have the same principle as you. Everybody don't have the same principle as me, Shaun or Alshorn. So
Why you say my name with such a?
You want clown?
everybody don't have the same principle as Shaun. Let's make this
Cause he's
about
like
him.
Shaun, and then he said Alshorn.
And Shaun-
Well, he
You should,
said
be,
that.
you should be happy for that because I letting the people know that
And-
you are a man of principle.
Yes.
In simple terms, you don't diss the brand.
I know this a brand, bro.
You
Never,
don't diss the
ever.
brand.
Well, that
But
right there.
but
that right there.
but
I'll never
but
vote for
on the
Brown.
flip side, if you go against the grain, but you will never see me out there bitching just to the poop.
I don't know, boo, but I just think.
But I mean, for me,
I
it-
got
it's,
it.
it's
I
that.
got with it. I can let
It's
it
that.
ride.
Wait, I'm an adaptive person, so I'll never be out there crying over spilled milk. Never once. You gotta see me on the road.
Well-
you gotta see me on the road.
Well, overall, what I could say is, I get the idea of Alumni Junkanoo, and what'll spoil it is
Mercenaries.
not mercenaries, and I going to say a behemoth mentality, but it ain't just standing a behemoth mentality. That's a human mentality. as people say.
Nah, that is not a human mentality.
What, which part?
That is not
People
a
fall in the
human
pond,
mentality.
Yeah, and then
That is not you be in the
That's
college.
just Junkanoo.
You be in the college. I be in the
That's
college.
Junkanoo.
You be in the NEO. Insert NEO clip right there. Oh, hey, oh.
You ain't gonna do that, mate. Thank God I added it. I'm not putting that in
Yeah,
there.
but
That's
you
a
got
clip
my
y'all
phone,
gonna
I
never
got
see.
it.
Y'all ain't gonna never see that. We watched that a little while ago. Y'all gonna
Oh my God.
ever see that.
I am an
God.
answer.
That's so dead.
That is not a human. That is not human nature, boy. That's something we trying to bring upon ourselves. That loyalty is not worth it, boy. Loyalty is everything, boy. I always tell people, boy. This is another topic. I don't bring up too much topics.
Come on, gun, man.
Bro.
Go for gold, bro.
My name is all I have. All our name is all we have. If you sell your name for a little piece of silver, you was like Judas, bro. You was like Judas.
Man, little
You
Judas.
can't sell your name for a little. I feel as though my name worth a lot. That's just my opinion. I'd never.
Not an opinion, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
playing little Judas and Junkanoo.
You
for real.
can't do that, boy.
Let's
You
stick a pin
can't
stick
do
a pin-
that,
stick a pin in that, Rhon. Carry on, Shaun.
No, I ain't got nothing to say.
You had something to say?
No.
You
I
have
guess
somebody
it-
you want to address this to?
No.
Say we have a lot of Judas in
Junkanoo.
Junkanoo.
You do.
Wait, let's keep it to alumni. Yeah,
You got Judas
I ain't
inside
into
that
that dog.
Hey,
By
and-
night.
at
But
the end
what
of
I'm
the day,
saying
like
is
I
right.
said,
What I'm saying, hold on,
go on. Sorry.
is that I just reached back. Y'all had 4 episodes without me because I was traveling and doing work. That's my.
You was a Judas
That's
too,
my
bro.
time.
You weren't loyal to the wife.
I's a Judas.
Only clown.
Hey,
I will pull
Hey.
up our chat right
Hey,
now.
look at-
I's a Judas.